Hello, hi everyone, and welcome to an episode of the Love Storm Show. Here, why I inspire, motivate, and encourage you not to give up on love. Okay, because there are so many people that have given up because they are crushed and damaged from things that someone else imposed on them. What that is someone lied to them. Someone promised that they would be there always. Some things got shifted. Someone fell off square. So today I want to speak on reassurance and ownership. What that means is when we're in the relationships, committed relationships, those that are of union marriage, especially, but not to disregard any other relationships, but because marriage is a unification, it's between you, yourself, and you, your spouse, and God. It's a union, threefold cord. It is so important to be true to who you say you are, the way things came together in the beginning, what kept you enlightened, what drew your attention to the person that you chose. Because, the saying is, oh, well, he chose me or she chose me. I said we chose each other because we had to come in balance at some point in some time. So we both agree that we both are interested and we're going to both come together, live together, grow together. So I want to speak on some of the troubles that sometimes comes into the relationship at some point. That happens when um when we're not being reassured, we're not being given accolades, affirmations, reassurance that I love you no matter what we're going through. I'm here, but let your words speak and stand in accordance with your actions. That is so very important. Sometimes we could say, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. These days people use it so loosely because you know why it hurts so bad, because it's something that should not be trampled over, disregarded, disrespect. That word love surely is an action word. You show that, you display it to another. But what happens is sometimes things that has happened in our past that may trigger us, and in the moment we may not understand why a person react, shut down, outburst. We don't understand maybe all the time as to why it even initiated. But we need to go back to the drawing board and be able to talk to your mates, men and women alike, because I know sometimes when we're bothered, we shut down. We don't want to open up. We don't want to talk. We don't want to say anything. If you just so need that moment to stop, breathe, let digest what was happening, what took place, what was said, come back to reconfirm, redirect, and reassure that in this matter that has come into play is and will be resolved and not taken advantage of. Please reassure your mate that you love them, you appreciate the things that they do. I tell you, those reassurances will go so far in a relationship. People don't understand it, but it's certain. It is certain. It is true. It is real. Just take a moment. Take time out to make sure you acknowledge, honey, how was your day? What can I do for you? How can I help you? Is there you have gone over and beyond to help make sure things are intact and in place. Watch how the person's face lights up. They will be so inspired, and it gives them a drive. It's a lift that helps them to go further. Now, I'm going to attach the red flags to that. I can't speak on this enough, and I know a lot of us speak on that. But when we see things that does not fall in sync in the rightful manner, we definitely have every right to ask that person, what's going on? Why is this? What's the problem? If that person gets upset, I say we want to reevaluate that person, because when you're in a relationship, you can't be shutting down, tuning a person out all for the sake of, because you don't want to deal with the way they may respond. You trample over people's emotions. You have to take ownership. Yeah. this is the part. You have to take ownership for the things that you didn't keep promise of, the things that you changed on. Now, sometimes some things may come up where a promise is not being able to be kept. Just say, for example, a person, your spouse or someone, promised that they would take care of a bill for you, but something may have come up in their space where they weren't able to do it. Those type of things are out of our control. So you want to be able to control the things that you do have the control of. If you know you said, I'll be here when you get home. Again, things come up, but you know you have a dinner date with your spouse or something of that sort. You want to stay and keep ownership of your words that you speak to another person, because we speak, our body should flow right along with what we speak. That's why they say a person that's drunk, a child, those sort of things, they speak a true mind. They speak what's on their heart. So definitely be certain to reassure folks that you are there, that you are in that corner. Um, if for some reason you just left out of feeling like the relationship can't go any further, if a relationship has gotten to the point where you feel tormented in mind, feel imprisoned, and you feel like you just don't want to exist anymore, please step away so that you can reevaluate, reassess the situation, so that both people have time, opportunity to reevaluate themselves, build themselves, and then come back together, especially when you're in a union of marriage. But if both parties choose not to, or one of the other chooses not to, and things are just so out of sync, so to the point where it's like a shell of a body in the home, and there's no connection, no emotions attached, no feelings, no nothing, that evil spirit, because that's what it becomes, that's what it is, they chooses to bring you into their space of torment. Don't allow someone else to bring you into their place of torment. You have every right to control the situation, because you, as well as that person, you both authors of your story. So it's either come on the same page, but don't lose your individuality, because sometimes people do lose their individualities when it comes to relationships, and they put so much because they love a person so much, they're willing to flex, bend, cut corners, they're willing to do any and everything. That's not a bad thing, because you're doing what you're supposed to do in the moment. That's why some people be so disgraced when things don't work out. They don't want to go back into a relationship because they feel like they gave it all. How could this person do? Each person is different. I understand it's a mental thing. It is a mental thing. It could come down to the point where it affects you on a physical aspect. Please seek the counseling that you may need to help you get through this. Know that everybody is not the same. You might come across a person, 1, 2, 3, 4 people, and they all seem to act alike. That is their trauma. You have to give them ownership to their trauma so that they can deal with that situation, because they will always go around spilling on people that are there for them, because they don't understand this person that's for them is true and sincere, and they just want to be in support and love that person to on a whole plateau. People don't understand how beautiful love really is, especially if they not even felt it before. It's like a foreign object. It's like a foreign. It's a foreign, like a foreign language to them, of course. But you have to reassure them, I'm so sorry that you didn't receive the love that you needed or should have received when you were a child, because a lot of times that's rooted from childhood. Myself, for example, I come from a home of care, but I really come from a home of a lot of love. That's how I feel. Someone may interject, but I, as wise in the wisdom that I use, because I am true to who I am and say that I am, the love that I have for people, I could decipher what's real or not. but nonetheless, I don't let it affect me as an individual, because I see I've been through a lot of pain myself and a lot of hurt. I don't want nobody else to feel that. I would rather be the light within someone, of someone, so they can see that these storms, they do pass. They do pass. You take charge, you take a stand. As I said before, I mentioned on one of my statuses, I think you are the orchestra of your own symphony. You are the author of your own book, your own movie, your life. You get to display and express it how you choose so and see fit with all honesty. Other people decides what part they play in your life. You decided, but nonetheless, it's what they bring. I say that because sometimes people get upset because you shared, express that what happened to you with another individual was heartfelt and hurtful. These people tend to get upset. They don't want you to talk about it. Well, you weren't being right. I have every right to express. Okay, anything that involves myself, anything that involves yourself, as long as you are being straightforward and truthful with what you're expressing, that is the point. You know, it's the way we express. We have to be very cautious on the way we express to other people about things that we go through. You, you look towards someone um, that is non-biased, that won't judge you and criticize you for the things that you speak of regarding someone else. But nonetheless, we definitely want to take those type of things to God first and foremost. But I definitely know that we as humans, we always want to see and talk to someone that can give us some type of insight. Be it that, let it be someone that has much wisdom that can say, hey, this is, be cautious on how you address situations. Be cautious on the way you do things and say things so that it doesn't bring um, dismay upon your relationship, that it doesn't bring turmoil and trauma into your relationship, because certainly you don't want to let that affect you in the back. On the long run, you don't want that type of thing to affect you. So, or the relationships, because you got to know too that these things do come back around if you're not cautious on how you express and how you treat people. Some people don't believe in what goes around comes around. Some people don't believe that what they do affects somebody else, because they have gotten to the point where they just don't care. And unfortunately, they must understand that this will relate and come back into their future. How about they may come to someone and feel like they found the love of their life. Somewhere during your journey, you're gonna be revisiting what you initiated out someone. So it's best to be apologetic. It's best to repent. It's best to say, please forgive me. Be it you wasn't in your right mind, be it you wasn't mature enough. And being in these relationships, you definitely have to be very mature to some greater degree. Because what happens is, if you don't have a person that is have much wisdom on a certain level aspect of life versus you, and you guys, it's like I pick you up where you weak at, and vice versa. You come together, that brings the balance. So reassure that person, yes, I'm a little weak in this area, but I'm willing and open and ready to learn, to be able to navigate on this relationship, that we can have the best relationship. Be sure that that person you with is your best friend, because see, sometimes people say, oh, I have a best friend. I have good male friends, but I don't go out of my way to engage them into my life. If there's something that comes up, they may want to inbox or they may want to message or something. Guess what? My mate, he knows. He knows. And it's just out of respect. Whether it's reciprocated back to me or not, I don't make that a big concern, unless it's one that he had a relationship with, then I'd be concerned, because sometimes, I'm not saying you don't have a strong friendship after having a relationship with somebody, because at some point somebody matures, correct? Um, but you have to be certain that your partner is aware of these individuals. You be certain and aware that you're not hiding anything from them. And that if that very well is a person that's your friend, at some point they should be crossing paths, so that they're known and be respected. Onto that, do I totally agree having a friendship? Oh, this is my best friend. Not someone that you just pick up the phone and call whenever you want to, invade and go off into places without your mate present and things like that. We have to be cautious, into each person is designed as to how they see fit, because we have to be cautious, especially ones that have dealt with so much trauma. We don't want to deal with that situation. We don't want to deal with that, because one, people aren't always trustworthy. You are trustworthy. You're going to be straightforward and honest. But will that person that claims to be their friend, because people sometimes, when they might not straight out, they have motives. And men as women alike. Oh, excuse me. Please listen to your mate spouse when they say someone is trying to invade in your union and relationship, because guess what? Men know men. So women, listen to your man. Women, we should reciprocate, vice versa. Man, listen to your women. Women, listen to your man, because they know and they can acknowledge and tell when someone is just, being on a friendly aspect, to the point where they're being respectful of your relationship. That you can bring knowledge. See, a lot of times, some people will bring just good knowledge to you as a friend, share things, ideas, and things like that. They may know a little bit more about your history than your spouse, which that's another topic. But nonetheless, that's why it's important that you and your spouse get together and share things and talk about things. Don't have things hidden, because how detrimental and how hurtful that would feel that somebody else is able to know your spouse better than you. So be cautious on that. But again, the purpose for me coming on today was to let people know, reassure your partner that you love them, give them affirmations, accolade, congratulate them, acknowledge them, love them, kiss them. Do it so with truth in your heart, to the depths of your heart, and see how your relationship grow. Now, we as individuals have to take ownership on that. If you choose not to be that adult mature in the relationships, you look for it to fail at some point in time. If you're very open with your spouse, things will balance just like it needs. Will it always be sweet? Of course not. But you'll be able to balance, and you'll be able to coast through the situation that take place in a hand. Okay. So again, that's ownership. Make sure what you see, you put out. If you put something out that's of negative, and your spouse comes to you and say, hey, that wasn't good, that didn't feel good, you wasn't right. Own that. Own it and see how you can correct the situation. That makes a beautiful bond, when you're able to accept on the balance, and yourself. A lot of times people don't even want to know themselves. If you have heard it over and over again through people that are some really true people, you can 9 times out of 10 acknowledge that it's something, that area in your life you need to work on. So don't be troubled. Don't be upset if someone brings something to your attention that needs to be addressed. It's okay. If you have to sit together and write things out. Well, these have been my past traumas. These are things I feel like I may have not gotten over. But are you willing to help me? You say these things to each other. You have to let them know where you've been. You have to have a mature mind to be able to receive what's being said to you as well, because not all the time everybody is ready to receive what's coming and being said to them. But if you're in a relationship and you're in a committed relationship, you had already long ago accepted that, even without it actually being said. So remember the vows that we take, the promises that we make. And as I said, the Love Storm show is going on. It's banging. I'll bring some useful information. And I look forward to having some people, honest, loving-hearted people, to come on and share their experience. Or inbox me at nevafox73gmail.com. You can shoot me your topic. I myself, if you're not interested in being presented up front and live, I'll be more than happy to just share the circumstances as to how we can get through hurdles in life to be able to stand firm and connect with love again. Because I promise, if you take part ownership in a failed relationship, I can guarantee you, you will be able to smoothly continue on. So you keep moving on. If those things is not looking well for you, I'm not saying you tear yourself away from the relationship, but you definitely know if it's fornication, adultery, and the things that really, really could cause a habit where things are just irreparable, where you're unable to reconcile differences. So that's my spiel for the day. So again, I'm at nevafox73@gmail.com. I am also on Facebook under the Love Storm Show. It's also under Instagram, TikTok. I'm now on Spotify, Anchor. There are some audio podcasts there for those that just do not have the time at the moment to look at the videos. I would love to have feedback, and I'm open and available for questions as well. So again, the Love Storm Show is where I'm here to motivate, inspire, encourage you not to give up on love, because love is for everyone. Be strong, be confident with your head held high. You are very valuable. Love is waiting for you. Don't miss it. Don't miss your ship. Don't let destiny pass you by. A lot of times we don't give a second chance. So, as my motto is, don't stop loving so you don't miss your blessing. Love is everything. Turn it up. Till we meet again. Thank you.